Bow, banger management fantasy hockey podcast. Woo!
Woo!
Woo! Try my best on that one.
That was good.
That was good.
Ever since
Welcome
Jakey
in.
got called out for being off key in the Discord.
Wow.
No, it was the jingle, not his woo.
I know.
Listen, that's why we need you. You know, you were doing you were
My
off
perfect
last
pitch.
episode. We're happy you're back. You're the songbird of our generation. That's what they say.
That is what they call me.
They do be saying that, yes.
All right. Welcome into Prestige World. Welcome into Banger Management, the fantasy hockey podcast with Jake, Josh, and Kevin. Today, our Week 17 waivers episode. Always a good one. This is gonna be a fun week because we're heading into not next week, but the week. Sorry.
Like, this is gonna be a good one. It's a good week.
What's that? What?
I don't know. I feel like the negative 24 Celsius weather is like rubbing off on you or something.
No, it is gonna be a good one. It's because next week after this, because we tend to plan 2 weeks ahead, and then it's the crazy Olympic week. So definitely,
Actually, I can't wait for. I mean, it's just gonna be super hype, obviously, but also in terms of fantasy, like I have a bunch of injuries, and that's gonna be a good time to get my guys back. You know, you give them an extra like 2 weeks to recover. So hoping for good things.
The Dylan Holloway signature pick is not off to a good start.
No, no one's gonna trust me next year.
He's no Fabian Zetterlund, that's for sure.
No,
okay.
I can't believe he's still on your roster, Jakey.
Listen, he's making strides. Just
like
look at that game
you're
log.
battling the urge, like you're trying to find. Is there anybody else I can cut?
No, not at all. Okay. Before we dive in, follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. We are there. Subscribe on YouTube and give this video a like if you enjoy. Also, be sure to join the Discord community. You can see the link in the podcast description. Click the link, make a username. You're in. We're there, 27, maybe 21/7.
Kevin's in there 24/7.
I'm in there 24/7, and
3 a.m. You know, he'll be there.
Yeah, that was something.
And I'll be gone at 10 p.m.
Even if I answer a question, Kevin still comes in and answers that same question. So
That's not true.
Sometimes he'll do that because you don't realize that it's like me who answered it. He'll just be like on like answering mode. He'll be like brap, 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 and I'll be like, he literally just wrote the exact same thing I wrote because we always have the same opinion.
Sometimes I'll look because I'll be like, I'll join the chat after like I went out for dinner or something, or I went to a movie and I come out and I have like 40 missed messages in one specific Discord channel. So I'm like, okay, scrolling towards the top, and then I'm like starting to answer them, and then I forget that you answered them after. But
No,
happy when we align, because then it makes like the advice was good, like two people agree.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Instagram, TikTok, all the socials, Reddit, check those out. Okay. Let's dive in with our Week 16.
Before we dive in, how many points per game do you think Zetterlund has over the last month?
Like 0.56.
You're so generous.
What is it?
0.36.
0.36?
Yeah, but how are the vibes per 60?
He's averaging 10 minutes and 17 seconds per game, and less than a double-double. So
you know what? That's more minutes than Holloway's been averaging since we traded. So
actually, I don't know if that's true.
Actually, fine, average, because he played one game and it was like 12 minutes. So
yeah, but I will say, if we're on the topic of our trade, just to recap, I sent Celebrini and Holloway and received Matthews and Zetterlund.
Matthews has been sick.
Yeah, he's been good. But this was before the Olympic choice, and we didn't know Celebrini was going to the Olympics per se. If Celebrini does this, what he's doing, his pace, and keeps it up after the Olympics, so that's more than an 82-game year, obviously. If he does that, that's like truly generational stuff. And he becomes like, incredible. Because he
can't
could
wait
win
to
the
see where
heart.
he gets picked next year.
He's a first-round pick next year. It's absolutely
Easily.
Yeah, I'm just wondering
like five.
where in that first round he's going,
Above.
I probably think he...
Ooh.
I think he's still going above Matthews if he keeps this rate.
I was thinking like 6-7, but okay, stop.
Not on purpose at all, for sure. You could have said 7-8.
But I actually believe it's 6-7.
Yeah.
No, it'll be between like Makar and Celebrini type of thing. Makar, Pasta, Celebrini in that range.
That's crazy.
So you think Matthews still goes ahead?
No.
I think if he finishes the year strong, he might.
That's fair. If you but
he
like
had the name pull too.
No, Matthews. I guess this year he went ahead. I don't know. I think in a lot of leagues he'll go below.
Yeah.
We'll see.
A lot of
Okay.
leagues hate him.
That's true. That's true. All right, should we get into it?
Yeah, we
Let's
should
do
get
it.
into it.
All right, let's start with our Week 16 choices. Not our best week, but we bounced back. But what we had Jordan Eberle, 3 games played, 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points. Count that as a win. Not the
Yep.
most exciting win, but still got you multiple points and
2 points in 3 games.
Yeah, 2 points in 3 games. We're not complaining with a stream like that. Then we had Josh Doan, 3 games played, 0 goals, 1 assist, 1 point. Signs a 7x7 and then just decides to dip.
He pulled an Adrian Kempe, as Jake
Yeah.
likes to say.
Jakey saw him at dinner, and
Yeah.
I'm convinced that he cursed him because he's on my fantasy team. So,
No, it's
Jakey
funny.
was
So
like, bad luck.
It'd be hilarious if you started choking.
I was with 2 friends, and they're not like the biggest hockey fans, but they used to follow back in the day type thing. And I was like, those are 4 Buffalo Sabres. So it was anyway, he was one of them. And I was listing their names. I was like, Doan, is that Shane Doan's son? And I was like, yeah. It's like, wouldn't it be hilarious if I was like, hey, you're Shane's son, right? Like the day that he signs the 7 million or whatever. I was like, that would certainly throw him off his groove for the next little bit.
So it's your
we didn't
fault.
we didn't even do that, and he's still been not so great. But yeah.
But I mean, look, in terms of this week, he wasn't great. We're counting that as an L, but I still like his long-term potential. He's line 1, power play 1, just signed that 7x7, as I have probably said my entire life and always have and always will and never will stop saying is follow that money. And, if you pay a guy like that at this point in the season, they're saying, this is one of our top players. So still like it long term. And then we had Ryan Leonard, 3 games played, 0 goals, 0 assists, 0 points. That's an L, obviously.
Yep.
Again, as long as he's power play 1, I'm still interested. I think that if come out of the Olympic break, he's still power play 1, getting that rest and reset. These young guys, we've talked about it a lot. Like they oftentimes finish the season really strong. So I still like him as a long-term pickup.
It's tough because, did you guys see Leonard? Looking at his deployment and everything, he was still line 1, power play 1, but the last few games, his ice time was way low. So I don't know if something's not accurate or they're just mixing up the lines during the game or something, but definitely something to monitor with Ryan Leonard, because I feel like he's been one of the hotter names on the waiver wire for, the last few weeks. Like we've mentioned him a few times, like people are interested because, he's like a mini Tom Wilson, quote unquote. But if the minutes are not there, even if the deployment is there, something's up.
Yeah, no, that's actually a huge, really good point. Like we don't always talk about the average ice time when it's not, sometimes usually it correlates to the deployment, right? So we'll see a guy's line 1, power play 1. You kind of just assume he's getting 18 minutes a night, right?
Yeah.
But if you see a discrepancy like you're mentioning, Kevin, then that's definitely worth noting, and that's kind of a little asterisk next to that deployment. But anyways, that brings
So
us to 28 and 14 on the season. Still pretty sick, right? Exactly twice as many wins as L's. And we're just gonna keep trying to improve. So let's bounce back from this last week and do a good one this week. So 2-game teams this coming week. We've got Calgary, Ottawa, Pittsburgh. There's 1 5-game team. I feel like there's been more of these. It's because of the Olympics. That's why, because they've had to jam the schedule into tighter, fewer weeks. So that's why you've had these 5-game weeks. LA plays 5 times this week. And then 4-game weeks, we've got Boston, Columbus, Islanders, Rangers, Philly, Utah, Vegas. Busy nights are Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and then there's a couple of 2 off-night teams. But yeah, so that's diving into week 17 now. Let's get started with our top 10 points, guys. As always, under 40% owned, so that it's as relevant to most of you, as Kevin always likes to preface. If you're in a shallower league with guys that are higher percent rostered available on the waiver wire, this is more deep cuts, so oftentimes there'll be better guys available. So feel free to hop in the Discord and ask us any questions you've got on that. But let's get started with
number 10.
At number 10, we've got Pavel Zacha of the Boston Bruins, line 2, power play 1, 4-game week this week. I mean, this is he's number 10 because I'm not the most excited about him. He's one of the streakiest players in the league. I feel like he'll go on some runs where you're whoa, this guy's sick, and then he'll be zeros for 2 weeks. But a 4-game week with the power play 1 deployment, Boston's actually been really sick lately. Pasta's the GOAT. So getting to play with him on the power play, definitely a big plus. And look, he's not currently playing with him on line 1, but I don't think any one in that lineup is safe. I mean, we saw Past on line 3 for a bit, right? So obviously, whatever line Past is on is line 1, but whatever. So I wouldn't be surprised if Zach could get some time with Pasta or Geeky or whatever at even strength.
Yeah, if he's not in a faceoffs league, I'm significantly less interested. But like number 10, I get it. I mean, they are on the streak. He is a big part of this offense. He usually gets pretty consistently over 15 minutes a night, and there is the potential. So Boston's on a hot streak. It's definitely a solid bet to think that he'll be a part of that.
Yeah, I think what Josh said is one of the main reasons why he's at number 10, right? He's just known to be inconsistent. Like, you look at his game log and you'll be like, oh my God, these last 7 games have been so sick. And then you scroll a little lower and then you see the last 7 games and you're like, it's full of zeros everywhere. What happened?
Yeah.
And it's just crazy that the deployment doesn't really change. Like, he's always either line 1C or line 2C, and he's always on the power play. So it's unfortunate that, a player like this that's young, that's exciting, that can't put it together for, more consistent stretches. Because I look at his game log.
I feel like he's been around for a while.
Yeah,
no, I think he's young. I think he's 24 or 25. I mean, that's young.
No.
I would guess 32.
You think so? Yeah, honestly, I feel like he's been around forever. Okay,
No,
we're right
28.
in the middle. He's 28, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's still young, okay, guys? I'm 28.
Hey, I'm almost 28 in 2 weeks, so
let me just
he's
tell you,
old.
Pavel Zacha's back is probably in better condition than mine. His back doesn't hurt when he wakes up in the morning. So
I was gonna say something, but it would have had to be bleeped out, so I'm just we'll just move past it.
Was it like a heated rivalry thing?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I figured. When I said it, I heard it.
Yeah.
But yeah, all that to say, I do think that he has potential when he's hot. Like, he'll have games where he has 3 or 5 shots, even though his average is 1.6. So
yeah,
the averages can be misleading when he's hot. Like, he can get really hot.
Yeah,
Yep.
And that's why we tossed him on a 4-game week.
Yep.
Let's go to the next one.
At number 9.
At number 9, we've got JVR, James Van Riemsdyk of the Detroit Red Wings. He's currently line 3, power play 1. Only a 3-game week, but what he's been doing is significant enough to hover around. Is the type of guy where if it's on a 4-game week, I would bump him up in the ranking. On a 3-game week, he's still worth mentioning, but lower. That's why he's number 9. But over the past month, ever since he got power play 1, essentially, he's been almost at a point per game, which is kind of crazy. He's been getting power play points. He'll hover around maybe 2 shots a game, something like that. And he got rewarded for his unreal play by getting demoted at even strength to line 3, which, who knows why? Who knows what the coach is thinking? I mean, who knows why Patrick Kane is not power play 1 in the first place? But look, if it's working for them, it's working for them. And I think it's just worth mentioning.
Yeah, for sure. And one other kind of thing here is that he's currently playing line 3, as you mentioned. If the Red Wings trade for one of the New York Rangers guys, they're getting Casper back, and I mean, you'd think that would make it a lock that Panarin would be on the top there. So that could be interesting for Van Riemsdyk's long-term value. In the meantime, there are no Trocheck nor Panarin on the Red Wings, so that's good.
I think Trocheck could really go to the Red Wings.
But if Trocheck goes and Kasper's in the return, then Van Riemsdyk could be a solid line 1 mainstay, which would be amazing for his value rest of the season. If Panarin goes, that's a whole different story, of course.
What do you guys feel about, as a Trocheck owner, what do you think about the Detroit landing spot?
I think it fully depends on whether he gets power play 1 or not. Because Detroit is a top 4 power play in the league, top 5. That's a super valuable place to be. And look, who's the odd man out of the power play? It would be JVR, right? And where does he play? Net front. And in my mind, Trocheck's a good net front guy. I know he's usually more of a slot guy, but
face-off guys.
Yeah, so I don't think it's difficult at all for him to bump JVR off power play 1. But if they're bumping JVR, do they prefer to just toss Kane back on there? Who knows? But so I think it's a good place for him, honestly. Look, it's not the most insane playoff schedule. It's like a 3-3-4, something like that, weeks 21 to 23. But I like it for him.
I think it would be great because I think it's a place that he can keep his bangers foundation. They also have that kind of style of play where they like to be a little banging, and it's a top power play. And he'll probably play with at least one elite winger. It'll be Lucas Raymond, it'll be DeBrincat.
Sure. He's going to slot in right into line 2. He'll take Kopp's spot, and he'll be playing with DeBrincat and Kane, which is a sick place to be.
Yeah, so I could see, as like we're always scared with these guys because they're so good where they are right now that if they get traded, you can see it going downhill pretty fast. If it happens to Detroit, I'd be pretty happy in terms
Yeah.
of like not ruining his value, you know?
Yeah. Honestly, same with Panarin. I feel like Detroit's a
Yeah.
solid landing spot for either
Yeah.
of them.
But Panarin, I think it would really be bad for JVR's long-term value.
Oh, in terms
Whereas-
of JVR, like I think the second he gets bumped off power play 1, he's a drop. But
yeah,
for now,
even
he's
if
on power play 1, so
I mean, these last
Yeah.
2 games, he's averaging like 10 minutes. So I feel like
Yeah.
it could really be like, he gets bumped up power play 1 next game, and then you don't pick him up at all, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is one of those that fully hinges on that deployment.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
let's go to
Number 8.
at number 8. Sometimes when you have a 5-week schedule, 5-game week, you got to recommend some guys that you normally wouldn't recommend, right? So at number 8, we have Andrei Kuzmenko of the LA Kings. He's currently line 3, power play 1. Like I mentioned, 5-game week. Also a 5-game week the week after that. That sounds crazy, but that's like the kind of crazy Olympic week. So 4 or 5 games is kind of like the average, with 3 being little and 6 being a lot. But still, back-to-back 5-game weeks. And look, he's on power play 1. He's got the potential of being a good points guy. Like we've seen it his first year and then never since. But look, he's shown flashes. He scored that one unreal goal like 2 weeks ago, and he's been chipping in the points here and there. And LA's power play hasn't been as god awful lately as it was to start most of the season. Ever since they realized that Brant Clark should be there. So I like it as a 5-game. If it was a 3-game week, he wouldn't be on here.
Yeah. I think as long as he has exposure to that power play 1, that's what gives him his value, right? Like he's been super streaky as well. We've seen him being demoted to line 4 multiple times. We've seen him get line 1 multiple times, and it's just like he's a defensive liability. So whether they can hone and get the best out of him offensively, that's the big question. But he can still score goals, and on power play 1, he'll have the opportunity, and that's why on a 5-game week, even though LA's power play is a bottom 4-1 in the league, it's still worth mentioning that he can get you those points.
Yeah. You guys remember the beginning of the year when he was just hitting like a monster out of nowhere?
Yeah.
For like
crazy.
5 or 6
Yeah.
games?
No,
It
I
was
remember that
crazy.
because we talked about him on like one of our early, I don't know if it was a streamer or just like one of our post draft episodes, whatever. We
Yeah.
talked about him. We were like, was Kuzmenko an insane pickup? Like we were looking in the draft when he got drafted. He got drafted like round like 18, which makes sense.
Yeah.
And we were like, man, I can't believe I missed out on that. And then immediately sucks. So
Yeah, like he does not hit at all anymore.
No,
It's
that's
the
not in his
funny- it's
game.
The
He has 0
randomest
per hit.
things.
yeah.
They probably told him, like, if you want to be in the lineup, you got to do more than just, like, skate up and down. And then he was just like, all right, I'm going to hit everything. And then that lasted, like, 2 weeks, and he was just like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah. That'll boost my hits category for the season. You know?
Oh, my hits from last year went from 1
Yeah.
to 2.
Exactly. All right, let's move to the next one.
All right. At number 7.
At number 7, I love it when you call me Evangelista.
Love it when you
call me Evangelista of the Nashville Predators. Line 1, power play 1, 3-game week, but what he's been doing is relevant enough to mention even on a 3-game week. His deployment seems safe. I was not worried. I suspected it would be safe, but I was curious to see what would happen when Marchessault came back, but it did not affect Evangelista's deployment at all. And he's been kind of killing it. I've been playing against him this week, so I've been getting a first-hand window at watching him kill it against me, but he had like 3 power play points in the past like 2 games. And look, none of us are Nashville believers, but this streak's been going on for a decent amount of time, right? Like they're not necessarily winning all their games, but like the streak of like having fantasy relevant assets again that are not Philip Forsberg and Roman Josi is it's I think they're relevant, like it's there.
I was going to say, like, this is maybe worth a hot topics conversation when we get the chance, but I wanted to check us. Like, we always talk about like being accountable and whatever, and I think our take on this Nashville thing is like needs to be reevaluated, because I'm not saying that they're back, but I feel like we've been talking about them as like, they're going to go way down after. And I just feel like at this point, like there might just be worse teams and they're in the playoff mix. Like, it's actually crazy. So how sustainable is this? Because we have Ryan O'Reilly, who's now 60% owned, so you will not hear him on this waiver show.
Yeah.
And we've talked about him for months. But he's been nuts. These other guys have been
Stamkos.
nuts. Yeah.
Who we've been saying is like a sell high for weeks.
Like, still believe these
So-
guys are sell highs, because
Yeah.
even if Nashville wasn't bad, we'd be looking at these numbers and be like, all right, this is unsustainable. But at a certain point, maybe the foundation, like the floor, is a lot higher than we expected, and we got to check ourselves.
I think that's a really good point. Yeah.
Yeah, so the one thing I will say about the team, I'm gonna dive more into to Nashville in the Buy Low Sell High episode, which drops tomorrow morning. So be sure to stay tuned in that one. But the Central Division in general is pretty close between like the last place team and the Mammoth, who are in fourth. It's like 10 points. That could really fluctuate. So it really, it depends how things are going to go. Are they going to now be buyers at the deadline because
Nah.
they want to push? So if they're going to be sellers, then they're cooked. And in the
I don't think
meantime,
it'd be either. What they're gonna do is we're too good. We can't sell, and they're gonna get all these old guys stay on the roster, and then next year they're gonna be cooked.
yeah, because they're not good enough to win the Stanley Cup with this roster. I don't think they think that.
No, even when they were sick like a few years back, they lost in like the second round or the first round.
Yeah.
I forget it.
Yeah.
Against Vancouver.
No, but Evangelista's a really good pitch, because you're right. The whole team is really hot, and he's pretty cemented there. He's been there for weeks, so there's a lot of points potential.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to
Number 6.
at number 6 of the Columbus Blue Jackets. We've got Mason Marchment, recently returned from IR. Line 1, power play 1, bumped Charlie Coyle off of there. And he's got a 4-game week coming up. So, look, he hasn't immediately come back and started popping off like his beginning of his Columbus tenure, but I still like him on a 4-game week, especially with that deployment.
That's a loaded line one. Fantilli and Marchenko. Like that,
Yeah.
I mean, especially with the new coach and everything, he's only played one game under bonus, so you don't know how it's necessarily going to go, but generally this Fantilli Marchenko combo, if you're playing with them, it could be amazing. And the power play one's got really good players, so I think that he's a great choice.
It's crazy because honestly, I think I'm way higher on Marchment than most people, and it's because he's in that Voronkov role that now Voronkov is like line 4 and he's doo-doo.
Not even on the power play, yeah.
No,
Oh,
I don't
that's
know what
why
hell
you've been
they're-
including him in your trade offers.
I mean, if you look, the thing with Voronkov though is that the coach is upset that he's not getting enough from him defensively. So it's like a punishment. It's just like, until you shore up your defensive game, you're gonna be on line 4. But this is like one of their best players on the roster, in my opinion. He's also massive.
Now
Trying to
we're
get
talking.
Jakey to trade for me. Yeah, exactly.
Last game, guess how much? Last game, he had 2 shots, 3 hits, which is a great game for a guy that has that in his toolbox. How many minutes do you think he played?
It feels like 8.
You're being
No, that's-
generous. He played 6
No way.
minutes.
Seriously?
He played 6 minutes last game, and he had 2 shots and 3 hits.
Well, his deployment
So-
literally
Vibes
could not be
versus
worse.
team.
He's line 4, no power play, no penalty kill. That's the
Yes.
worst deployment. The only worst deployment is sitting in the press box.
The only reason he's still on my roster is because even though the minutes keep going down and down and down, his bangers just stay there. He's averaging 2 shots, 2 hits, and a block. So I'm like, all right, listen, I'm just going to hold until I really have to cut. But Marchment is the guy that's taking his spot. And I think Marchment has the same kind of game to him where he can, like, throw the body around too. He'll shoot some pucks, and he can get some points, especially when you're playing line 1 and power play 1 with Marchenko. So I think I'm been talking about this Columbus team very positively, I feel like, for the last recent weeks. And I feel like we're coming to the place where their values are going to match my projections. So I think this is one of the last times to get in on Marchment before, they go on a hot streak this upcoming week, and then it might be GG.
Might be GG. So you heard it here first. Yeah, no, that's a great pickup. All right, let's go to
Number 5.
at number 5. He's back because he dropped back below 40%. Jared McCann of the Seattle Kraken, line 1, power play 1, only a 3-game week, but honestly, he feels like a guy who should be above 40, and that shouldn't even be allowed on the show. But like I said, he dropped like 2%. So he's back because he's still good. I don't know why people are dropping him. He hasn't like slowed down that much. I mean, he was on a crazy hot streak, so maybe he slowed down a little, but he's still putting up numbers. So I'm still very happy to have him.
I think with guys on the cusp of like roster percentage 40, what happens is like they'll have like a 4-game week. They'll get a bunch of people will pick them up, and then that person still ends up being like their worst player. So the following week they're like the first cut, and then they fluctuate back down. But I mean, Jared McCann is like, if he's the worst player on your team, then you're probably in a decent spot because I think he's a very valuable fantasy asset. Like Seattle, while they're winning games, McCann is going to be a big part of it, and that's what we've seen recently. So he's averaging 0.84 points per game over the last few weeks. His time of ice is good. I mean, Seattle's power play is deceptively higher. Like it's way above average. So
Yeah.
I like McCann. It's only a 3-game week, which is unfortunate, but the week after he's 5 games, that's not too bad.
Yeah, it's also I've been seeing some rumors that Shane Wright is on the chopping block for trades. I
Really?
don't know if you guys have seen this, but apparently like Elliot Friedman like confirmed this is like real, and they're looking for a top 6 offense guy in return. And I actually saw Friedman
Please no
speculate.
Rangers.
I saw him speculate that Lafreniere for Shane Wright. He said he didn't hear anything about that. He just said not the craziest idea I've ever thought of, you know. So that would be nuts, eh? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. What do you think? Who do you think it'd be better for?
in terms of players or teams, I think it would be great for
like-
both players. They both need to get the
Yeah.
heck out of where they are. None of them are progressing well where they are.
Yeah, but
So I
the
think
fact
it's a
that
great
Wright
opportunity
couldn't
for
do it
both.
in Seattle when like everything was wide open for him makes me think that maybe he's just not that guy.
But I mean, yeah, but like
He's
if
also
he
young.
goes to the Rangers, Trocheck's getting shipped out. You know, then he's line 2 center. That's a big, he maybe get some power play time. Sullivan doesn't. He's not like the previous coaches there. Like he won't like just stifle new young guys. I'm sure if they trade
Yeah.
for him, also the goal will be like you need to make this work. Like you need
Yeah.
to give this guy every opportunity. So I don't know. Look, I'm not saying and like I don't know. We've seen guys with this high draft pedigree not do anything for a few years and then come out of nowhere and pop off when given the opportunity. So
That's true.
I think that's
Yeah.
why Seattle can ask for a Lafreniere, and that's why Rangers can ask for a Wright, because both those guys, are like they're reaching dud status, but they're still super early in their careers and they haven't really been given much opportunity. So yeah, who knows? All that to say, if Seattle acquires another like top 6 forward, a guy who can go on that top line and play with McCann on line 1, power play 1, that would increase his value even more. But that's more of a long-term play.
I just want to circle back, exactly, to this for McCann for 1 second. He's played 13 games in January and he scored in 10 of them. That's
crazy.
So, yeah, or like he's
How is
gotten
he under
points.
40%?
He's gotten points
Yeah.
in 10 of 13. So it's like
Okay.
that's very, very consistent. And this is a guy who's been like at a 0.9 points per game in the past. I don't understand why he's at 40% owned. It's one of like the biggest question marks for me.
He was injured
and his
most
power
of the
play.
season.
Yeah, and last year too. I think it's the injuries.
Last year, last year he actually played a full season.
Oh, then he was just bad. I just remember him not being good
61
last
and
year.
82, which is still
That's not
rosterable
that
and
bad.
deep
Yeah,
in deep
Yeah,
enough
in our league,
leagues,
that'll be
but-
rosterable.
yeah.
But this year, he's really good. I think he should be in like the 60% rostered range easily. Like 40 is way too low, and his power play's been good. He's, I think, probably the most reliable offensive player on this team. So I really don't understand why he's here. But hey, like, not nice to talk about him.
Yeah, it's a free
Who would
addition for me.
you rather more long-term, Marchment or McCann?
McCann, because
I like
think he's-
McCann more than Marchment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like McCann a lot, actually. I think he's like a properly solid player.
Yeah.
We've seen him
So-
do it before, so he has that in his game. Whereas a lot of these other guys were doing a lot of projections and hoping that they can do the same. So
Okay, let's go to
number 4.
at number 4. This one's tough because I had him at number 4, and then Horvat came back and he's lost like his deployment. So we'll see. But anyways, we got Anthony Duclair of the New York Islanders. Now he's line 2, power play 2. Literally a day ago, he was line 1, power play 1. But Horvat came back. He's got a 4-game week and then a 6-game week the week after that. So 2 really good weeks coming up. He's on a pretty hot streak. I think he scored like 5 goals in his last 5 games, including power play goals. And I will say, like, power play 2, like we don't usually like recommending guys like that, especially this high up on the list. But this power play 2 is a weird one where Barzal's also on that unit. So it doesn't really feel like a 2 as much as a 1B. Obviously, in my mind, whichever unit Schaefer's on is the 1. Schaefer and Horvat. So that's not the 1A. But look, I don't think that's going to last. I think they're going to consolidate it back with Barzal, Horvat, Schaefer, and there's 2 empty spots there. And I think Duclair could definitely end up there with how he's been playing.
So first of all, I played with Duclair back in the day, and he definitely scored less than 8 on 10 penalty shots on me. Just saying. And now to the
No,
to the
everybody's in
topic at
Discord
hand.
is calling you out, Jakey. Everybody's just like, there's no way Jakey could save 2 McDavid shots.
Listen. We'll never know. Well, like they need to.
We got to get
help
this to
us.
happen.
Yeah, exactly. And
Do you
until
still
then,
have like your equipment and all that?
Yeah. And until then, I'm not wrong. I'm waiting, Connor. Anyway.
Wow, that's crazy. It's true, honestly. If McDavid
Call
doesn't
him
do it,
up,
it
let's
means
see if he'll respond. Or is he too scared?
That's it.
Guys, everyone listening to this, spread this on whatever social media you can. If you know anyone who knows Connor McDavid's dog or whatever, like let's get this to happen. This would be insane.
10 penalty shots. By NHL rules, there will not be more than 8 that go in the net. That means he could miss. That means I could.
Sorry,
Well,
Connor,
exactly
he
the
can't
rules.
break NHL rules to snap on Jakey.
Exactly.
No moving
That's it.
backwards or rebounds. Sorry.
Yeah, no, he can't just like go back and like skate around and do a bunch of wraparounds. That's not part of the gig.
Honestly,
Yeah.
like
Anyway,
I think he needs to.
I just bought a house, but I will spend what remaining cash I have on a flight to Edmonton to see this happen.
I'll even fly to
He was
Edmonton.
gonna fly
There
to
you go.
Montreal.
We're not going to make McDavid fly to Montreal.
Well, wait until he
Listen,
plays the Habs and we'll organize it. We'll be like, hey,
Okay, yeah. Good
I know
call.
you're in the city. Because
Maybe
the
let's
Bears
not
want to talk
start
to
it
you.
that way. I know you're in the city.
I have your dog. No,
Anyway, just yeah.
Jakey's
so
just
back to
gonna berate
Duclair.
him for like
Okay.
not taking less money and hope that it gets in his head so he doesn't score.
All this to
Listen.
say, Anthony Duclair is line 2, power play 2. and it's not as good as line 1, power play 1, but he's been on fire. I wouldn't be surprised if he keeps running hot a little bit.
You know, and this is a player who's actually had really solid years. Not McCann good per se, but
Yeah.
he's
He's had flashes in the past.
Yeah, on Tampa, for instance, like in the 17 games he was there, he went 15 points in 17 games. Like this is a player who can be really good. And it's not as if I agree it's more of like a 1A, 1B, but let's just say that the Schaefer one is the true number 1. I mean, Callum Ritchie, Simon Holmstrom, these are not locks on power play 1 by any
Not
means, so it's going to be a
household
fluid
names.
situation. Well, yeah, exactly. It's going to be a fluid situation, so I like Duclair as a pickup. It's speculative, but it could really work.
Yeah, and to me, this is definitely more of a short-term thing. I don't see him being like a season-long hold, but for those 10
Yeah.
games in 2 fantasy weeks,
But I
it's been
do
crazy.
want to say though, like we have at number 4 on the list, I would bump him down with the new deployment. I would
Yeah.
rather have McCann. I'd rather have Marchment. I'd arguably rather have Evangelista. It's tight. So like we're talking about him here, but with the new deployment, I would consider him lower priority.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, should we crack into this top 3?
Yeah, we should. At number 3.
At number 3, we have Scory Perry, the GOAT, the guaranteed finals loss king. Line 1, power play 1 on the LA Kings, the aforementioned 5-game week. So again, that's why 2 Kings popped up on this list. 5-game week is nothing to joke about. And he's on that, as long as he's on that power play 1, he's a really good net front guy. He's still got the hands, he may not have the speed, he's like 40 years old, but he still finds a way to keep getting points. So I definitely like him for this week.
Yeah, he's I mean, it's also inconsistent with him for sure. So you're not getting that solid production game in and game out, but he could really contribute positively in the 10 games and over the next 2 weeks. I know with the Olympic it's a caveat, whatever, but look, we're doing a high risk one on this, putting him in the top 3. It's a reputation staker, TM, and I think if it works, it's going to work tremendously. If it doesn't, well, so be it. But I'm optimistic, and I think that because the ceiling is so high, he can do really, really well.
Yeah, I'm just banking on the volume, honestly.
Yeah, the volume is great, and honestly, if I had to pick one guy out of this whole list to stream power play points from, like besides the guys that are like above him that are maybe more safer options, like he's been a stud in power play points. Over the last month, he's averaging 0.75 power play points on this LA Kings power play. that is dog water.
29th.
29th in the league, right? So the math ain't mathin', but it feels like he's just he knows how to get goals, and that's kind of just been his shtick. That's why he's still in the league. That's why he's still on these teams that are competitive, and that the competitive teams want him in the locker room and on the ice with them. So listen, I think if you want to stream power play points, you could do worse. And as long as he's line one, power play one, the minutes are going to be there, and he's always a shoe in to get some points and some shots.
Yep. Okay, let's go to
number 2.
At number 2, we have the plural of Matt, which is Matt Zuccarello of the Minnesota Wild. Line 1, power play 1. Only a 3-game week, but this team is popping off. Their top offense guys, at least, their power play's popping off. Quinn Hughes is making himself right at home. What is it, like fastest Minnesota player to 20 points in like the history of the franchise, something like that. Some crazy stat, but he's at 20 points already since the trade, which is just disgusting. It felt like it took a game or two for him to kind of like get into it, but then it's just been rapid fire.
Yeah.
And Zuccarello is just that guy who's underappreciated, undervalued, underrated. That's why he's under 40%. And just this is the best stream for points, power play points, I feel like. But this is like a long-term hold also, not just a stream.
He's not, like, he doesn't have McCann's shots per se, but he's also one of those that is puzzling that he's under 40% on. That's like the guy I can compare him to. It's consistent, it's reliable, he's good. And look, they do have injuries, so maybe that's like somewhat of a caveat for the lack of long-term enthusiasm. But in the meantime, while they have Boldy and well, I guess Eriksson just came back, but while they have Boldy out, he's an absolute complete lock. If he wasn't, like, it was 99% before, now it's 100%, and he's doing well, so I really like it. I think he's fantastic, and I'd love to be able to pick him up, but unfortunately he's taken in our league.
Yeah. Zuccarello, like, I feel we say it every time we get the chance, but he's just underrated. Nobody gives him the credit when he's actually doing well. And Minnesota, even on a 3-game week, he's number 2 on this list.
Oh my God. Okay, Batman.
I was gonna say, he's number 2 on this list. No, that's Batman. But I really like him. Listen, I picked up Tarasenko this last week after listening to our own advice, and he's at 1.14 points per game over the last 3 weeks, and he's been pretty hot. And I think it just goes to show that this Minnesota team is like set up in a really good way, that the pieces that are there that are put in positions to succeed can succeed really well. Like, Tarasenko's not special, but he's just in the top 6 in power play 1.
Sure, but
I mean, I don't know. I don't know them personally, so I don't want to give that to them. But
yeah, I will say, like, if anyone's curious why Tarasenko's not on this list with how unreal he's been, 3-game week, and the fact that Eriksson just came back and Boldy should be back within the week, so he's gonna get bumped off power play 1 and lose almost all value.
Yeah. As long as he's in the top 6, like, he'll be maybe, like, he could get a point here or there, but if he's not on that power play 1, like, that's the moneymaker right there. So
yeah, absolutely. All right, let's go to
number 1.
At number 1, we've got Elias Lindholm of the Boston Bruins. Line 1, power play 1, 4-game week. Gets to play with Pasta. This has been feels like it's been a couple weeks at this point that they're kind of like glued at the hip in terms of the lines. So I'm pretty confident in that deployment. I mean, yeah, it makes sense, but you never know. But right now, that seems to be the play. He's got like 6 points in his last 4 games, and like I said, Boston's been cooking. The pasta's been cooking. It's al dente. It's looking great, and Lindholm's there just like dishing assists. So definitely like Lindholm for this week in a 4-game week, and as a long-term hold if you can afford a pure C.
And one of the best playoff schedules from week 21 to 23. Like we always say it, if you're in a deep league, like Josh made a trade earlier this season to go acquire Pasta and Lindholm together. They were on the same team, and he got both of them in a trade. And I'm sure he's happy about that because coming to playoff time, like they got a 4-4-4 in weeks 21 to 23. So super competitive there, and they're going to be together. So it's like double whammy. When one of them does well, the other one probably does really well too. So we're already seeing it every week. If he's still available.
Sick.
Pasta is insane, first of all.
He's so good.
He's so good. And David Pasta also is pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I made myself laugh with that one. That's okay.
Honestly, I love Pasta, both Pasta the food and Pasta the player. So
what's your favorite pasta that's not fettuccine Alfredo, Josh?
Well, actually, my favorite food in general is bolognese. That's like pasta bolognese.
Ooh.
That's like my mom makes like the best one, and I actually have stopped ordering it at restaurants because I'm always disappointed because it's never as good as my mom's. But it's my
Okay,
favorite.
we get it. Your mom is a great cook.
Yeah,
JT?
it's that's definitely my top.
Wait, what?
What's your
Question
favorite
was your favorite
pasta?
pasta.
And you
I
can't
go
say
like
David.
bolognese, fettuccine alfredo, mac and cheese, David Pasternak. That's my top four.
I mean, I like. I guess rosé is pretty good.
Rosé's good.
Rosé is
Or
good,
like
but there's also
a
like
Rosé
vodka
sauce?
one. Like
yeah,
a
the
penne
vodka
alla
sauce
vodka.
is like
That's a
fire.
good one.
Yeah,
Penne alla vodka.
Did you know
That's amazing.
one time we and Eva wanted to like make it for dinner, but the only vodka we had was Grey Goose, so we just used Grey Goose for our penne alla vodka.
Did it
Did
taste
you
good?
actually?
Yeah, it tasted great, but I don't know if there was much of a difference in using that and like bottom shelf vodka.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a huge waste. But
You can just take the shots and take a bite of pasta after, you know?
yeah,
that's
exactly.
That's it. Yeah. So
Drink
so
responsibly.
to
Eat responsibly.
Irresponsibly as well.
funny.
But no,
Yeah.
honestly, and we'll finish on this maybe for this top 10, but like Lindholm, I also think is one of the best 1Cs that's widely available. I feel like he's, that guy that is surrounded by top talent and for some reason is still going under the radar where people don't necessarily want him on their team because, yeah, the back categories like the bangers, like the shots, hits, blocks could be inconsistent, but he still touches every category and he's playing with David Pasternak on this power play that's still elite. I think there's a lot of upside, and I'm surprised that he's this low owned.
So the one thing here, they're 8-2-0 in their last 10. That's massive. He's had a stretch of playing with Pasternak. Of course, it's going to look great. I totally think that number one on this list is where he belongs. As far as a long-term hold, I mean, look, below them in the standings are the Leafs, the Panthers, and the Senators. Yeah,
All teams
we were
going for that
talking.
spot.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about the Predators kind of like maybe, having to do our analysis. I still don't believe in the Predators, but I'm even more confident that the Bruins are not going to finish outside of the top 7 like above 7th in this division.
In division?
I think they're
I don't think he's making the playoffs.
I don't think
bet
they're
my
making the
house on it.
playoffs. I mean, the Sabres are also
In your life?
overperforming like crazy. So
I
it's
bet my life that the Boston
my
Bruins did not.
Yeah,
I'll take that back, but
Don't-
And
do
Pasta took
that.
personally.
So that's it. Like I just think that they're gonna get less good over time, but you do have to, any deployment with Pasternak, no matter what, almost involves or deserves top on this list. Like
he's playing with Pasta.
here.
He's on a top
Yeah.
5 power play, and he has the best playoff schedule.
Yeah, I
This
just think
guy
in
should be
general,
rostered in more leagues.
End of
like in
thread.
general, they'll start scoring less, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I think it's like over time, like the goals are
But
gonna go down.
you're the
but-
biggest. You're the guy who's the biggest fan of teams fighting for a playoff spot.
Yeah,
So that there's something there. Like I mean, they're not going to
That-
make it, but they're going to fight for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And look, I mean, it's still that's why he's for sure number one. I just think as far as him being like a viable long-term option, who's going to get more points, Zuccarello or Lindholm rest of the season? Probably Zuccarello. But in a face-off wins league, Lindholm's great. So
Yeah. No, I agree. Also, in this week, 4 games versus 3, which is why Lindholm's higher. Like if the games were switched, I would have flipped it. But yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, they got a good top 3. The Perry
Yeah.
one's fun.
It's
Feeling
funny,
confident
like-
with this one.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know whether to feel good or bad about the fact that like guys, like so many players on my team are in our top 3s lately because like in the good side, it's like, oh, they're great streamers, but
Yeah.
like why do I have so many streamer level guys? Because I gutted my team for
Yeah.
the top talent. So it's like a mixed bag there. Double-edged sword, yeah, that's the one. All right, let's go into our bangers. Top 5 bangers for the week. Capital B bangers. Let's start.
Bangers.
Yep, with
Number 5.
at number 5, a guy who's been bopping on and off of this list all season. We've got Emil Heineman of the New York Islanders, 4-game week this week, 6-game week the week after. You cannot ask for a better 2-week schedule, and the bangs are still there. On the season, he's at over 2 shots, over 3 hits, which is just chef's kiss, beautiful. And look, he's playing Horvat's back. He gets to play with Horvat again. He's getting some power play time as well. Like, points are not impossible for him. He'll have stretches of good points. 10 games in the next 2 fantasy weeks with those bangs. I like him a lot.
what we love about these banger guys is that when they're over a double-double, so like Heineman is double-double, 2 shots, 2 hits, right? He's got 2 shots, 3 hits. Amazing. When you have that, you're already, set in your archetype and what foundation you can bring to somebody's fantasy team in banger cats leagues. The fact that he's still in this top 6 and gets exposure to, elite players like Barzal and Horvat, I think it does give him, a better than not shot at like the points upside too. Like he could be what you're hoping Dylan Holloway wants like to be for your fantasy team. And I think we saw that earlier this season, and I think we might see it again now that the Islanders are getting healthy. So I would really like to pick up Heineman. I would arguably put him higher on this list. I for sure put him over the next guy, in my opinion.
Yeah, I know you would because you hate the next guy.
Yeah. But I also think the next guy has a 4.4. Heineman has a 4.6. So, and the points upside with the banger categories. But alas, I really like Heineman, and if he's on your waivers and you play in the bangers categories league and you have a streamer spot open, like he'd be one of my top guys.
Yeah, but let's go to the next one because we can hear Kevin lose his mind.
My mouth is gonna quiver as I'm talking. Like hopefully I'm not playing him next week. I didn't even look. But at number 4,
at number 4 we have Kevin's nightmare paralysis demon, Matthew Olivier.
He's not just mine anymore. He's yours and some people in the Discord.
That's true. He's plagued many of us over this past season by putting up random 3+ point nights against us. But we've got Matthew Olivier of the Columbus Blue Jackets, 4-game week this week, 4-game the next week. Again, 4 next week is not actually the most hype of numbers. We're looking for 5 and 6, but for this week it's great. And yeah, 1.3 shots on the season, 3.7 hits. He'll get you some pims also, fight here and there. So definitely, and then he'll randomly have 3 or 4 point nights if he's playing against me or Kevin. So I should check actually when the next time one of us is playing against him. I think I'm playing him in 2 weeks. So
I'm playing him next week. Oh my god! There's no way, guys. This
is a guaranteed. This is a guaranteed pickup. You gotta pick this up.
My life that he gets 3 points this upcoming week. What are the odds of playing against Matthew Olivier next week? Do you know what the
crazy
point was?
The last
January
time he played
4th.
one of us. I think I was playing him then. I don't know.
January 4th. His last game, last night or 2 nights ago, he had 5 shots, 5 hits, and a block.
He's preparing for your week.
He's preparing for my week. He's ramping up.
He's like in the locker room. He's got like a punching bag with a picture of Kevin's face on it, and he's like getting ready. He's like,
he listens to banger management. He's like, he just heard me talk about putting Heineman above him. He's like, I took this personally. Yeah. I actually can't believe I'm playing him next week. What did you look? And you were like, that's why I'm putting him on the list.
I swear I didn't look. That's unreal. Okay. I didn't expect you to trash him, but now you just you jinxed yourself. So everyone out there, if you want to go for the vibes of watching Kevin lose his mind, then you guys benefit. And I love this pickup.
Yeah, please join the Discord and check out the venting channel.
I'm so excited.
Other than the extremely robust analysis of he's playing Kevin, watch out, everyone. I actually think he's a fantastic pickup for banger specifically, but I do agree with Kevin. The shots hits. I think I like Heineman as a long-term hold. And I guess with the 4 and then 6, it makes him a little bit have an edge. But for bangers, for hits, you're getting more hits out of Olivier.
You know what?
And pims.
Yes.
Can I say the S word?
No.
F you, Matthew Olivier. You shouldn't even be on this list, okay? You heard it here first.
Oh my
Bill Heineman owns you. Bring it on.
Wow. So Mark Stone has jumped into Kevin's love list, and the new captain mascot of the Kevin hate list is Matthew Olivier.
Yes,
Huge.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how this plays out. It can only bring joy. Let's go to the next one.
At number 3.
At number 3, we have a guy who's been on this list every week for the past 3-4 weeks. And Vegas just has an unreal schedule. We've got Jeremy Lauzon of the Vegas Golden Knights, 4-game week this week, 5-game week the week after that. I mentioned it last week. In the next 2 months, I think they have only 1 week that's under 4 games. So this is he's also good enough to hold in a 3-game week, but it's just a cherry on top that their schedule is so unreal. So yeah, we love Lauzon. 1 shot, 3.7 hits, 1.6 blocks. He pims as well. Average time on ice is around 17 minutes. He's just a banger's beast. At this point, I'm very confidently choosing him over Gudis. And yeah, so love that pickup.
Yeah, I feel like he's got the best hits per minute in the league. He
Yeah.
just is like, he doesn't really. I mean, some games he hovers
He's
around 20, but other games
to
16.
Olivier.
Yeah, like 16, 17, and he's like, he's just getting the hits. He's just always hitting. I don't understand. Like,
He's like, he gets on the ice, right? He's got like a Terminator type of thing. He locks on a target, like, all right, all right, next target. Where do I go? Boop,
Exactly.
hit. All right, get off the ice.
that's it. Exactly.
And hopefully he doesn't let in a goal.
Yeah, exactly. He's on like the other end of the ice, like check the goalie, and the other team score. He's like, I'm just doing my part, It ain't much, but it's honest work.
Do you think that NHL teams look at hits for like performance based? They're like, you're not throwing the body enough or whatever.
I mean, like the way that hits are counted, it's a hit only counts, I think, if like you got the puck off the guy, right? Because
Really?
you watch,
Yeah.
we watch games. We see a guy do like 7 hits, and we're like looking at our app, and he has like nothing to show for it.
I just
So I
assume
think it's like,
corruption.
I mean, I think there's
I
definitely.
know I have him on my
it's-
fantasy team.
I mean, yes, there's obviously the entire NHL is out to get you, but other than that, there is like a lot of subjectivity to it. Like it's like what counts as a hit. Every
Yeah.
arena has a different hit counter. So there's different arenas that are known for like being more
Mhm.
generous with the hits. So that's
Yeah.
like if you're getting real like deep into like the analysis, But in general, I think a hit is defined as like you hit someone and you took the puck off them. So that's like a very real stat, right? Like that's
No,
relevant.
because I've definitely seen, when people hit each other and neither of them have the puck. Like he already played the puck, he's coming in, he's finishing his hit. I feel like I've seen those.
Like I
get
said, super
counted.
subjective, but I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure. I mean, like if you're hitting someone who doesn't have the puck, that's a penalty, right? So like the puck has to be
But
somewhere
they just
around.
had the puck and they gave it
Yeah.
away, and then somebody's finishing their check.
Well, there
type
you
of
go.
thing.
So like if the hit maybe caused them to give it away, they got scared, they were about to get hit. I don't
Yeah,
know.
okay.
Something like that. I think teams look at that stuff, especially like I feel like as we're moving more forward in time, as
Yeah.
time does, people are getting more into analytics and stuff like that, and so I feel like hits a pretty basic thing to look at. I mean, like, well, Kiefer
Yeah, but it just
Sherwood,
makes them valuable
yeah.
for,
I mean,
for
like,
a team being like, tying it to the success of a player's on ice performance.
Yeah.
Like, are they like, you need to hit 3 hits a game or else you're not,
yeah.
Well, I mean, I think
fulfilling
they
your
just want to
duties.
see. Maybe they just want to see like someone's making an impact on the
Yeah.
game. Like you see a guy put up straight zeros. You're like, what did this guy do? Like it just went out for a public skate. Like I mean, look at like some guys. Like teams want these like especially like defensemen, right? But just in general, you want guys who are like built for playoffs, right? There's that reputation built for playoffs. You got to be able to hit. You got to have that grit. You got to be
Yeah, that's a
strong.
good point.
Yep.
So I could definitely see like teams looking at
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, for sure. I will say, like, it's definitely not the be all end all. Like a Jacob Slavin is regarded as one of the best,
Yeah.
players for
Yeah.
as a defensive
Not talking about
defenseman.
it as terms of like you're a good
Yeah.
defenseman because you hit a lot.
But it's because a hit is like a defensive category sort of inherently. So
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily like, mean good or bad. But I think if this is what you're supposed to be doing, because, that's a really good point, Josh, insofar as, hitting, playoff ready, these things are synonymous. I don't think it's necessarily you never want to go out and injure a guy, but to kind of like slow them down. If you have someone hitting and then in a 7-game series in the playoffs, it wears them down.
For sure.
And that's an important thing for teams. So I don't think they, let's just say day-to-day value it as much as us or hate it as much as Kevin if it's Mathieu Olivier. But for the long-term purposes, yeah, I think you need like a Gudas, a Lauzon or something like that.
Yeah. All right, I'm excited for this next one. This is literally the best player in the NHL.
Surprised he wasn't
Um,
number one.
It was just because the number one has 5 games, so that's
Fair.
the main reason.
Yeah, no, this
but
guy's
let's go
ridiculous,
to-
though.
Yeah.
This is my favorite number to say also. I don't know if you guys can hear it in my voice, but I'm always passionate when this number comes up. But number 2.
I hear the passion. I love it.
Thank you.
At number 2,
Did you
we
hear that,
have
Matthew Olivier. Did you hear the passion? Sorry.
We have the Connor McDavid of the Utah Mammoth, the beast from the West, the GOAT, my favorite player on my team, and I have a lot of good players on my team, let's just say. But this is the best. Jack McBain of the Utah Mammoth. 4-game week coming up, 5 games the week after that. This guy's nuts, okay?
Mhm.
Like, he does... I picked him up, I think, 2 months ago, and I picked him up because Utah had that stretch of like 5 4-game weeks in a row, and I was like, this is a no-brainer pickup. He's got a 6 schedule coming up, and then I've been holding him. Like, he had a 2-game week this week. It didn't even cross my mind to drop this guy. Like, I'm like, this guy is the GOAT. He does everything I want him to do. He shoots. He wins faceoffs from the winger position. He hits like a truck. He gets penalty minutes. He will get you points because he's playing with Dylan Genther on line 3 for some. He just does it all. This guy honestly like cannot be more of a fan. Like, literally, of all the guys on my team, he's the one I've had the most fun with, like, owning, which is kind of crazy to say when you have like McDavid and Draisaitl and Pasta and Celebrini. But anyways, yeah, McBain is the GOAT. I recommended him. I mean, we recommended him, but I think I went hard on it the last time we mentioned him a few weeks ago, and then a few people picked him up and were like, Josh, you were right. This guy's insane. So no, I love this guy. He's great, and as long as he's playing with Genther, he has that random points upside as well.
Yeah, and I know it's line 3, but this line 3 is a more desirable place to play center than line 2, for sure. I mean, yeah, who would you rather play with, JJ Peterka and Daniil Butt, or
line 2 is literally Butt.
Disrespect. I did not expect that today.
Is it not Daniil Butt?
I think it is. Is it Boot?
I mean, I don't think he's like...
T is silent, okay? It's Boo.
Is it Boo?
I don't think he's French. It's not Boo. Yeah, I don't...
Daniil Butt.
I hope he doesn't listen to this podcast. Now I feel bad. But
I'm not worried. I don't think any NHLers are listening, unfortunately.
You don't know that.
I don't. I mean, I'm sure Matthew Olivier is listening, and he's got that boxing like that. You know, like he's ready to go. You better watch out.
But anyway, I'd way rather play like I'd way rather have my center play like Gunther, and McBain is honestly just an absolute monster. He has done everything that you could possibly want in a Bangers league and more. I can't blame you for saying that he's your favorite player, because this is just out of this world. I mean, 7 shots, 7 faceoffs, 3 hits one game. The next,
that was against me.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Like, just to be able to do that, you know, with the hits volume,
possibilities. Yeah, exactly.
Crazy. So yeah, I think he's amazing.
If anyone listening to this has McBain and can explain this joke to me. So in his Yahoo player chat, anytime he does anything, everyone just writes Mendoza in like full uppercase letters, and I have no idea what it means. I've like this has been like, this is not my first year owning McBain. Like, this is like been a year-long thing, and I'm just sitting there like, I'm like, what does it mean? Like, I have no idea. If anyone knows in the Discord, please tag me and let me know, because I'm so curious. I don't understand the joke, and I would love to be in on it.
Are you serious?
So
yeah, go to his player chat in Yahoo.
Okay, I've seen one Mendoza.
It happens
Only
a lot. Like if you scroll, like it happens. Like, no, it wasn't.
It was Mr. Tim. Tim in the Yahoo chat said Mendoza 3 days ago, and it got 7 likes.
I don't understand it. It's not the first. I've seen it a lot of times. I guess I've owned him for a while. It's not like nonstop in the chat, but like it pops up all the time, and I just have no idea what it means. So yeah, if anyone could shed some light for me, I'd appreciate that.
There's a college football quarterback named Mendoza, but
do they look alike or something?
I was gonna say I don't think they look alike. But I don't know.
So
Listen,
funny.
I need answers.
Please, someone in the Discord sleuth this for us and let me know, because I would love to add to my Jack McBain lore. But all right, let's go to the top of this list. Let's go to
number 1.
At number 1, we have the line 1 center of the LA Kings, Alex Lafreniere, not Lafreniere, the better one. 5-game week this week, 5 games the week after that. One caveat on his deployment is Kopitar is looking to come back soon, so that might affect his deployment, but I do not expect that to affect his bangers, which have been unreal. The shots and hits are just nuts. Like, he's like a double triple, which is just unheard of, and on a 5-game week, I wouldn't want to be the guy who's playing him next week. Let me give you a hint of who's playing him next week. Me. So it's
would you rather play Alex Lafreniere or Matthew Olivier after you just said what you said?
Well, you know what? I'm saying Lafreniere is great, so maybe I'll be, get benefit of him not playing so great, whereas you just trashed Olivier, so you're asking for it.
Meant it.
I meant it. Yeah, so no, Lafreniere, like, honestly, like, if he's available in your league and you need shots and hits for next week, this is the number 1 pick. You're not going to find a better guy just in general, and for 5 games, it's just a no-brainer.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in a way, I kind of like McBain better just for the vibes. Like, yeah, I can't really explain
Mendoza.
it. but like Laferriere is the right pick. It also just depends on throughout the next 2 weeks when Kopitar gets back, because he's not going to play next game, but he's traveling with the team, so he will take the line one center role. I don't really know where this leaves Laferriere in the lineup. I mean, there's plenty of room for him to he could overtake Armia on the second line or Turcotte as a line 3 center. I don't think he's bumping Byfield to line 2. It's going to be interesting, but I agree, because he's not power play 1 anyways, so it's not as if the offense is going to decrease so much, and the shots hit should be there. So
yeah, plus 5 games this week, 5 games the week after, so you know that you can hold him for like the next 2 weeks and be happy about it.
Yeah,
2 fantasy weeks.
Yeah.
Mendoza. Sorry.
I'm glad I was able to share this with you guys, because it's been plaguing me for weeks. I'm like, what does this mean?
The numbers, Mason. What do they mean?
All right, let's get into the goalie section. We'll start with our top 3 quantity goalies, and I promise we will never again recommend Jonathan Quick. He's not even getting the starts anymore, so that's it. I'm done. Let's get into number
3.
Sorry, I did the number part for you, but I didn't say the number, so it's all good. Matthew Olivier won't smite me. So at number 3, we've got Philip Grubauer of the Seattle Kraken. Feels like he keeps popping up on this list. Look, at this point, he's the freaking starter. Like, it sucks as a Decord owner. Like, I don't know if I should drop him. I'm thinking about it, but right now Grubauer is getting majority of starts. He's playing better, so I don't see why they would stop going with him. I still just, in my mind, I'm like, how does this long term play out? Like, I just don't see how Grubauer could be the starter for the rest of the season. But it's been a few weeks now, and it's just looking like that. So I'm feeling pretty confident he can get 2 of these 3 starts. Washington, Toronto, Vegas. It's not easy matchups, but he's been playing well enough that I'm pretty confident and happy to pick him up.
I still think Decor's the guy, but I agree with the week. Then I think he's going to get 2 of them, because it's a lot of games for goalies to handle. It's 12 over the last 3 weeks, so I understand why they made the swap to begin with. And yes, Grubauer has outplayed Decord, but I still look. I don't think it's all absolute 100% lock, but I would still lean Decord. Don't send me in. I'm not buying it from you. No trades. But still.
My mind was racing. I'm like, oh my god,
he will take Decord. Before you got too excited, I saw that look in your eye. But I like it as a recommendation for sure. He should get 2.
His value's never been lower. Sorry.
It has never been lower, actually. But what I was going to say, though, is that we have Grubauer as 3rd on this list, but he's the one that I think has the highest potential long term.
Yes.
So if you're looking for, you're in a really dire goalie need, and you don't need 2 starts this upcoming week, you need 2 starts for the foreseeable future, I think Grubauer is probably the guy that I would want to pick up and hold in my goalie spot.
Yeah, these other ones are more guys that I prefer their matchups this week, so that's why they're ranked higher on this list.
Yeah. Okay,
man.
did Kevin lag, or he just stood up?
No, he dipped. He was just like,
he's like, I'm really
upset Grubauer is not higher on this list, so I'm dipping until reparations are made. That's the word.
He's going to just do some sort of rain dance to make sure Olivier doesn't wreck him next week.
Exactly.
Somebody knocked on my door, and it was Matthew Olivier. And
Kevin comes back with like a black eye.
Well, you should see him.
He's
I'm
fine.
clean, but his eyes might be black.
Let's go to Kevin's favorite number.
Number 2.
The passion, it's unreal. Unmatched. We've got at number 2 Kevin Lankinen, Kevin for Kevin, of the Vancouver Canucks. They're playing San Jose, Anaheim, Toronto. He should get, Demko is a mummy at this point. I figure I just picture him like that guy in like SpongeBob, like every day I break all the bones in my body and whatever, so I don't know. Demko's like, they're talking about like shutting him down for the year. So actually you were talking about Grubauer as the one who should get you consistently starts the rest of the season. I actually think Lankinen is more likely to get you starts consistently. Grubauer should get better starts. But in terms of like quantity, I think Demko might be cooked for the season. They're talking about possible surgery. They're talking about whatever, look, am I dying to grab the Vancouver Canucks starter for the rest of the season? No, but this is a quantity section. And look, their opponents this week, San Jose, Anaheim, Toronto. all those guys can score goals, but it's not, we're not talking Vegas, Colorado, Dallas, like I'm not necessarily scared of any of these matchups, even though Celebrini is the best player in the NHL.
I will say I'd rather have Grubauer than Lankinen if
Okay.
I had to pick one up. So I would, this list
Well,
is
the Torontos cancel each other out, right, in terms of the
Yeah.
matchups. They both have Toronto. So you're looking at Washington, Vegas versus San Jose, Anaheim.
yeah, but Seattle's just a better team than
That's
Vancouver.
fair. That's fair.
So
Yeah.
I think Seattle could like win any of these games technically.
That's a good point.
I would be surprised if
Vancouver, yeah.
Vancouver wins 2 of these games.
But
That's fair.
Lankinen's very likely getting all 3. So for quantity
Yeah.
purposes, I think Lankinen's gonna get you more saves.
Yeah, but
yeah.
at a
less
certain
good
point, like between
percentages.
2 and 3 starts, unless like saves are really important in your league, I'd rather just prioritize the guy that's probably going to get you better, percentages. Also, side note that's random and that won't be mentioned, like not relevant to these goalies. But Josh made a joke about like that SpongeBob meme where the guy's just always hurt for Demko. Like like he's standing up, he has like his feet in the L, and he's got like the the oxygen mask or whatever.
Yeah.
I was told recently that Jakey does not know any SpongeBob memes
No way.
By whom?
Not a single one.
by your significant other. She threw you under the bus.
That's
Okay.
crazy. There's no way you can't like make it this far in life and not like get like a stray SpongeBob
Yeah.
meme. Like you got to know some.
Like oh boy, this guy stinks. Like you never heard that
oh
before.
brother, this
She-
guy
is that why she sent me that like randomly on a Thursday morning? I was in like a work meeting and I see this thing. I'm like, "What's this? Aren't you at work?" And she's like, "It's 30 seconds. Just watch it when you can." And I watched it. I was like, "Haha." I never watched SpongeBob. I don't know.
That's crazy. That's
That is
insane.
crazy.
I don't know.
Aren't you a
And now
90s baby?
Yeah,
I-
now
last
SpongeBob's
I
dating
checked.
Ariana Grande, so it's a
Wait, what?
crazy world.
Oh my, yeah, that's hilarious. The guy.
I don't know if they
who-
still are, but
Invite.
on his birthday.
Kevin, come join.
bring
We saw
you
you
Matthew
across the
Olivier.
room and we liked your vibe.
Listen to the podcast. They're big fans.
If you got invited to the wedding but you had to take Mathieu Olivier as a date, would you?
Yeah, I would. And we'd honestly like that's like wedding crashers too, Like it's just me and Matthew Olivier sharing a piece of cake. He like Randy Orton's me onto like the table with all the food.
Oh God. Okay.
I would watch that. I would watch
Romantic.
that remake. Yeah. All right. Let's go to our top.
All right, at number 1.
At number 1, we have Anton Forsberg of the LA Kings. 5-game week, so 2 back-to-backs. He's getting 2 of those starts, so the starts he should be getting. So there's Columbus and Detroit as a back-to-back, and then Philly and Carolina. So of those 4, we're most hoping he gets Philly, right? If you're picking him up, because
Yeah.
that's the easiest. I'd hope for Columbus and Philly as my 2 choices if I could choose which one he's going to get, but I can't.
for sure.
So, but he's getting 2 starts, and they're not too bad. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't.
job at selling the number 1 goalie
Yeah.
for quantity.
I will
starts.
say, like, also when I put this, Kemper was still day to day, so I thought he might
Yeah.
get like 3 starts. Now he's getting 2. I wouldn't be shocked if he should be lower on the list than the other 2 guys.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to rank these 3 guys, because I think we do mention goalies, but goalies are so volatile, so that we can rank them 1, 2, 3, but at the end of the day, like it's so subjective, and every league has different goalie settings too, so it influences the stats and who's better. But I would prioritize Grubauer, then Forsberg, then Lankinen, just because I feel like that's the order in which the quality of play will be. And I know you want quantity. I think all these guys are getting at least 2 starts, so
I just
the
felt like
quantity
with-
is good.
With Grubauer, I just felt like even though I think he gets 2 starts, there's definitely a world where Decord gets 2 of them.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like I don't think it's likely, but like it's more likely than like Forsberg's 100% getting 2 starts barring injury because there's 2 back-to-backs.
yeah.
Lankinen's getting probably 3 starts barring injury, obviously. So Grubauer's the only one where there was a chance he only gets 1 of the starts, even though
Yeah.
he should get 2. So that's why I put him lower. Like in the quantity section, I like guaranteeing the quantity.
Yeah.
But if
I mean-
Grubauer is like guaranteed to get the 2 starts, I like his quality more than
This
the other guys.
this is coming out Sunday morning, and Sunday 3 p.m. Eastern they play
Seattle
New
plays.
Jersey.
Yeah.
So if Grubauer's getting that start, that would be 3 in a row. And if that happens, then I'd put the odds on that he gets the next game that's Washington. And then if he gets one of the last 2, I'd be confident in that. But if Decord gets this next one, on Sunday, then I would think maybe if he gets shelled again, they go back to Grubauer for sure, then I'm way more confident. Or if Decor plays well, then I'm less confident that Grubauer gets
Yeah.
2 next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
So
Grubauer,
yeah,
that's the best case scenario is that Decord plays and doesn't do well. The one thing I'll just say with Forsberg, but no, because if he does play, then like they may want to rest him and he may still only get one. So I understand the rankings. It makes sense. With Forsberg, I don't think he's going to get the 2 easy ones. I don't think he's going to get Columbus then Philly, because and Kemper likely will play Buffalo in the middle of that, they're not going to make him play Detroit, Buffalo, and you know what I mean?
No.
Like I feel like they're going to want to spread it out a bit.
I think Forsberg's getting Detroit and
Especially
Philly. I think that's what's going to happen.
That's what you think. Forsberg's getting Detroit, Philly. Yeah,
I think Forsberg's getting Detroit, Philly. 'Cause I think
Yeah,
Kemper will play
yeah.
the first, give him the back-to-back. Then Forsberg
Yeah.
will play the second. And then they'll go back to Kemper for the middle game. And then Kemper will have just played, so they'll give it to Forsberg because it's a back-to-back. And then Kemper will get Carolina.
Yeah,
that makes the most
a lot of
sense.
Yeah.
Let's do the quality ones. Let's try to
Yeah,
do them
let's
a
do-
little
let's-
quickly.
Yeah. These definitely took a while. Let's
Yeah.
go to
Number 3.
at number 3. We have someone who honestly I'm over my vendetta against him. It's been a few years and I'm ready to be done with it because he's been pretty solid this year and I respect the hustle to come back and not be garbage. So we've got David Riddick of the New York Islanders. They've got a back-to-back both games against the Rangers. Obviously we prefer if he plays the away one because the Rangers can't score at home.
Yeah.
But either way, I mean, I'm not a fan of the Rangers this year, especially if they get rid of Panarin and Trocheck by the time you hear. I mean, look, there's something to be said about this Olympic break coming up. I think a lot of people are saying that it's just going to be like a mini trade deadline because there's going to be like the Olympic freeze on the rosters, and we already saw that kind of happen. I mean, only like 2 tiny trades happened, but like we saw that happen before. What was the last break? Winter break.
Christmas break.
So Christmas break exactly. So we saw like anytime there's like a break for a bit of time in the rosters, it kind of becomes like a mini trade deadline, especially like this one's like break of like it's a long break, right? Like 2 weeks, and then like 2 weeks after that is the actual trade deadline. So I think we see some stuff get done. So there's a chance that Rangers are even worse by the time Riddick plays them. But regardless, I like him as a pickup.
Yeah,
I think there's also a chance that teams want to move quickly because they know they're competing against other top teams that want the same players. So everybody's just trying to get their best offer out there ASAP, and they don't really care about waiting for the trade deadline. So
yeah.
It'll be fun to see some action.
I know. I can't wait. All right, let's go to
number 2.
That passion there again. It's crazy.
Right?
That number 2 is just unreal. We've got number 2. We've got Elvis Merzlikins of the Columbus Blue Jackets. They have a back-to-back Chicago and St. Louis, 2 of the easiest matchups you could ask for. And look, there's even a chance that Elvis gets more than just that start. Right? Who knows what's going on with Columbus? It really felt like they were showcasing Elvis for a trade, right? But it's also so it's like, do they want to keep playing him to showcase him for a trade, or do they keep playing the guy who's unreal in Jet Greaves, right? So like, it's tough. I think if they think the trade's like imminent, right? Like if they think they could get it done by the Olympics, I could see Elvis getting a couple more starts than you'd expect over the next like a week and a half. But other than that, at least this back-to-back is going to be sick.
I feel like I have a good pulse on this situation because I mean I've held Jet Greaves for a long time. Elvis was available. I did not make the swap. I did not, hold both. I think how I see the situation is new coach comes in. There were 2 guys on this Columbus team that were significantly getting, dogged by the old coach. It was Elvis and it was Kent Johnson. And I think Bonus put a lot of his energy into both of those guys, bringing up their not only value but confidence. And then Elvis gets sick, quote unquote, yeah.
Oh, damn, sorry.
I don't know. I think you can say that word, maybe. I don't know. We'll find out.
If it's plural, it's not as bad, right?
Yeah, like Mats.
Yeah.
If it was Matt, we'd have to bleep it. But since it's Mats, we're good.
Exactly.
Science.
And then they went back to Greaves after because he came in. He looked very solid in relief for Elvis, and then he gets a shutout against Dallas the next game, right? And we know Jet Greaves has been one of the best goalies statistically the whole season, and the wins have not always been there, but he's played really well. So I think right now what it's going to be is I don't think it's Bonus comes in, Elvis is the main starter, Greaves is the backup, and then Greaves comes in relief, and then Elvis is like the pure starter again, not starting for 14 straight. I generally think this is going to be a split with Greaves being the 1A. I don't think it's for a trade only that. I think it's just in general he wants his guys contributing to the team. But I would definitely rather have Jet Greaves moving forward than Elvis. I know the situation was ambiguous. We have more data right now. We can make this call more confidently. But I think in any given day, Elvis can have a good game. I think this Columbus team is strong. So
Yeah, for long term, I agree. I'd rather have Greaves. And for this week, I mean, both these games they should win. Chicago, St. Louis.
Yeah.
So I think it's a very strong choice.
And hopefully
All
he
right,
gets traded.
yeah, that'd be great. See what
Yeah.
I don't even know where he would end up. But,
He is a
it would
starting
be
goalie.
interesting.
Like he could be a
The
starter.
Oilers
on-
could
on
use
a
him.
Solid. Honestly, yeah. Yeah, that would be a really good landing spot. And
Guys, every day the Stuart Skinner trade looks even better. I need to
Skinner's
go.
been unreal.
Skinner's
Skinner's
been
been so
unreal,
good.
guys. He's been so good. I need to go back on that TikTok and just like flame everybody that was on our.
I'm glad he ended
$8
up back
dollar
on
sign.
back on Jakey's team. I would have felt bad if he held all year and then someone else got to benefit. So I'm
No,
glad
Yeah.
he
got
held
back.
all year, dropped him. I picked him up for like Skinner's best
shutout.
stretch on Edmonton, and then I cut him when he was like dog water for 2 games in Pittsburgh, and then now he's great. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
good times.
So
We're
everyone's
all having
happy.
fun. Yeah, exactly. All right,
I'll
let's
trade you
go
in for Greaves if
to.
you want. Just saying.
okay, I don't think so.
That's actually interesting. All right,
Not to
let's
me.
go to.
Number 1.
At number 1, we have Jonas Korpisalo of the Boston Bruins. They played the Rangers and Nashville on a back-to-back. I like both those matchups. And this is another one where honestly, like, he can get 2 starts next week. I don't think it's out of the impossible. He's been really good lately.
He's been very
I don't know if you guys
good.
have checked. Like, he's been
Yeah.
really, really good, and he hasn't just been getting back-to-back. So they have a 4-game week. He's guaranteed that back-to-back start, but I think he could get 2 starts.
Yeah, it's hard to not be good on a team that's gone 8-2-0 in their last 10. So that's
Yeah.
part of it. And he himself, though, the percentages in his last 5, the worst game he had was a 909, which is very
Damn.
solid. So I really think he's a great selection. And look, I mean I don't necessarily know if he'll get 2, but he can. It's not impossible, especially with the hot streak they're on. Like, maybe they're getting more and more confident in either goalie. And yeah, Swayman's the guy, 100%, no doubt about it. But he's
Maybe not the guy right now.
Swayman?
Yeah, I mean, listen. Korpisalo played Calgary, got a 9-6-6 and won the game. Then he shut out Pittsburgh 2 games later. Then he played really well against Chicago. Had to come on in relief of Swayman against Dallas, and then he got the next game against Vegas. So he's played in 3 straight games. And
Yeah.
the game in the middle, he came in relief because the other guy was really dog water. So if they're winning games right now and he's a big part of it, I would not be surprised if the coaching staff is going to reward that, because we think they're not going to make the playoffs and they're doo-doo, but they want to make the playoffs. So.
Yeah. They don't think that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll
We'll
see.
see. But this ordering, I totally agree with. This 100%. So,
Yep.
Good stuff, y'all. Thank you to everybody for listening to our Week 17 waivers episode. If you enjoy the show, give this video a like on YouTube and be sure to subscribe to the channel. Also, follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. We are there. Kevin said some fancy podcast platforms last time. What were they?
What?
It was iHeartRadio, I think.
Yeah, Daily Motion, all
Daily
the big boys,
Motion.
the big boys.
That's what I keep
Classics.
forgetting. Yeah, exactly. And all the socials are in the podcast description. And don't forget to join the Discord. We reference it all the time. A lot of fun stuff going on there.
Yep.
Just trust me, join that venting channel next week.
Yes. Guys, if you're in the Discord, I will be living. I'm setting up a tent in that venting channel because the thing that Matthew Olivier is going to do to me. Okay. We're gonna have our own heated
Oh my
rivalry,
God.
and it's not gonna be fun.
Okay.
I don't even know. Should we just take that away? Like, just
Yeah,
end that on a high note.
Take
All
it
right,
away,
take it away,
please.
Ernie.
Bow Banger Management Fantasy Hockey Podcast. Woo!
Wow.
Woo!
That's gonna be Kevin when Matthew Olivier's done with him.
All right.